This is Dalia, and I'm part of the horticulture team here at Rogers Gardens. And today I want to talk to you about small plants for small spaces. I've chosen this topic because lately I've been getting so many people coming in and telling me that they need a little plant for a little spot because all their trees are established and they hardly have any room. Or a lot of people come in and they've just got big houses and little patios. So today I want to introduce you to some of my favorite small plants. Now, I want to start off with one of my favorite families, and that is the Hebe family. There are so many great Hebes. I think I'm Hebe crazy, but I'm going to start off with the smaller variety of Hebes, like this one right here, which is Hebe variegata. It's got a variegated leaf, gets about 2 feet by 2 feet. I've got the red edge that gets about 2 feet by 2 feet. I've got this cute little raspberry ripple here, and this one will only get maybe a foot, much less by a foot or much less. This one here is the jasper. Look how cute that is. You could even use that as a little border around your existing garden, just like a boxwood, but much, much smaller. And then I have this one right here, which is Lindsay, also gets about 2 feet by 2 feet. You can definitely keep them a lot smaller. I highly suggest that once they are done blooming, you just pick them up like hair and chop them off, and they're ready to bloom again. Now, for those of you that want a big blast of color in those small spaces, I've selected these 6 perennials that you can use together in an arrangement that will bloom non-stop. I mean, these are like major blooming perennials here in the full sun to partial shade. I've got the Angelonia, which is actually called a summer snapdragon, and but will actually bloom spring, summer, and fall. I've got this adorable little verbena, which is very wispy and attracts the butterflies. I've got this wonderful Drakensberg daisy that is kind of like a Gerber daisy, but much smaller. Out of this world performer, non-stop bloomer. And then for the border of it, I've got this wonderful gray dwarf Dusty Miller, which is fabulous. And then look at this adorable little San Vitalia, which is like a little sunflower, just kind of adds all and bursts out all this color because of this yellow. So you can't go wrong with all of these. These are fabulous perennials. I highly recommend it if you just really want the wow factor. Now, if you've got a lot of shade or partial shade, I love Iresines in the garden. You don't have to have a lot of flowers to have a lot of color. This Iresine family here will give you a blast of color just by the foliage. Nothing here is going to get more than a foot by a foot, and like the thread leaf purple is just such a blast of purple. I've got the Joseph's coat, I've got chartreuse, I've got autumn colors. This just makes a wonderful plant to tuck in and around your existing garden, underneath the trees, or just as a beautiful border, just as a grand entrance right into your front door. Now, if you want a great ground cover and you've got a lot of shade or you've got partial sun, I highly recommend the Ajuga family. Ajugas are amazing in their color. They are not invasive. They're beautiful just to look at because their foliage is so gorgeous. Look at this beautiful variegated Ajuga. We've got the chocolate chip, we've got the Metallica crisp, and this giant here. Look at this beautiful one with this gorgeous purple tall flower, and then we have this wonderful little ruffled Ajuga. This is just a wonderful ground cover to tuck underneath your existing trees, or just as a regular ground cover or in containers. You can't go wrong with Ajuga. I love all of the Ajugas. Now, I've picked out my 3 favorite dwarf grasses that I love to use in small spaces. The first one is the blue moor grass. This will only get about a foot by a foot. This is just a beautiful grass. It's got a gray underneath, which will add a lot of color into the garden. I've got this gorgeous Untitled. This thing just turns into a blast of reddish burgundy. It is gorgeous in the sun or the full shade. And then I have this beautiful Festuca Elijah blue, which is just so dramatic. It really holds its blue color in the full sun, and will actually also bloom these beautiful tassels. I highly recommend adding some grasses for some new textures into your landscape. Now, for those of you that have a lot of sun to partial shade and you love succulents, we have a brand new little aeonium here, which is called Tip Top. I know a lot of you are used to seeing those big, giant, huge aeoniums. You know, they take up so much room. But this is one that has a very compact dwarf habit. It's very mounding. It is gorgeous. It goes so well if you mix it with some of these sedums. I've got the fine gold. I've got the bronze carpet and the John Creech. This alone right here is a fabulous combination for anyone who loves succulents. Once again, this is Dalia, and thank you so much for joining me today. It was so much fun to bring you these wonderful little small-scale plants for small spaces. If you also need some small shrubs or small trees, we have such a great selection of small-scale plants here at Rogers. Come on in with a photo of your garden and let us help you pick out just the right plant for just the right small space.